And I'll let you know when on this one, we'll do the introduction. And welcome back to the NuB. This is Felton.
And the bald-bearded barn.
And this episode is being produced on the Hangin web show YouTube channel. Go check them out. I will have a relevant link in the description. And let's get right into it. So, have you heard the news?
Which news would that be?
Well, I got screwed over by BlizzCon last week. I think we discussed that last episode. And they announced, they kind of bogarted me, I think that's the right word, on Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. So, did you happen? Were you a Diablo fan?
I have been, yes.
So, did you? I'm gonna make a wild guess that you saw the trailer.
I did see the trailer, yes.
Okay. What did you get the same Hellraiser vibe from the trailer that I did?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, come to find out, I didn't realize it at the beginning when I was watching it, because I kind of figured the guy was like a necromancer, but in the lore of the game, the dude that's doing all the grossy stuff, that's actually Ratma. He has a relevant armor set in Diablo 3.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pronounce it. Bones of Rathma, Ratma. Anyway, that's a pretty good armor set, but yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Like, oh, wait a minute, that's him. And then the accompaniment of, oh wow, he's an asshole. He's bringing Lilith back. Oh no. And then I think now, I don't know. I watching it, I kind of got creeped out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing with like the monk, and he's sitting there and he's like, "Ooh, I want knowledge," and he just like, I don't know if that's bemused resignation or if he just wants to know, but he just like totally gives himself up and lets it happen and doesn't fight, and then all of his juices get sucked out, and then out pops Lilith from that flesh gate.
Right, yeah. It was,
I don't know what you want to call it, but and then she has that big old fleshy cape, and when it got to that point, I was just I was a little bit grossed out. Like, okay, well,
sure.
she's got that gross fleshy cape, so this is gonna be Diablo 4. Oh, okay, so we're back to that, because the original Diablo grossed me out when you beat the game and you shove the soul stone, which I still don't understand why the character shoves the frickin' soul stone in his forehead. That made no sense to me whatsoever. And it seemed like genuinely a bad idea, and it ended up being a bad idea because your character then becomes the bad guy in the next game, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it just seemed like a really not very good planned out. Not very good plan. So that that always like had this lasting bother with me. So at Diablo 2 it was, yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited because it's already there we go. I think that's is that Mr. Bean? I can't quite tell. I don't think it is. Maybe not. But yeah. So that's some good news, I guess. Good old
I
creepy
think,
news.
yeah, I think the Hellraiser comparison is an apt one. I can't remember the last time we've seen that kind of, visceral visual from anything since the Hellraiser movies.
Oh, it's just, oh man, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he'd said the same thing. He goes, man, this is very Hellraiser-y. It's very creepy, and I feel like it's that same elemental fear of something where you're looking at this guy. He's this all powerful, top tier necromancer, And at this point, he is a force of nature. There is nothing you can do against this guy. He is the most baddest of the bad. And I feel like that's, as he's presented anyway, that seems like it's kind of part of it. You know, you're done. You're donezo, kid. So looking at the character classes, it seems like they're bringing back runes. I don't know. Did you have any experience with those?
It's been so long. I don't think so.
So I stopped playing Diablo 2 when my Necromancer got nerfed and I couldn't respec, and I was level, I don't know, I was level like 50 or 60, and I wasn't going to invest all my time in that again. So
Yeah.
they nerfed Corpse Explosion and Bone Spear because of the cow level. So instead of doing something to nerf a bonus piece of content that you don't have to do, Blizzard decided, we're just going to nerf the character. So I invested everything into that. My whole gear was set up to be a very niche solo Necromancer build, and I was screwed. So I stopped playing. But
I don't blame you.
down the road, they implemented runes, which kind of you could literally pack your inventory full of these things. And you could squeeze, every bit of power you could out of these runes. Just, fill your inventory up with them. So, I guess they're bringing that back, which I have zero experience with. So, we'll see what that's going to be like. I mean, I think they're getting rid of gems, I heard. I'm not quite sure. But that seems... we'll see. I have faith that they'll produce a good balanced system, and there's no sarcasm in my voice whatsoever.
Do you think that they redeemed themselves from last year's Diablo panel?
Listen, I'm really not sure. What they're going to be able to do to redeem themselves from that. That was a shit show, man. I mean, they were attacking the fans. They that was awful. And I'm not quite sure if what we're seeing is not a direct result of a year's worth of work to
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we're making Diablo 4 now. Hey, everybody forget about last year. We're trying to wipe the egg off our face. Diablo 4.
Yeah. Did they even mention the Diablo mobile game this time? I still haven't heard anything about it.
I haven't seen anything. About it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm wondering if that's just going to quietly either go away, or if they'll release it and then make a big deal about how great it is. I just don't see the point, man. I'm not redoing all of my characters. If you can't import anything into it, then that just seems stupid.
Yeah.
I do like some of the character designs. You got Barbarian, Sorcerer, Druid, and I think Assassin is another class. And I don't know, man. To me, everything kind of looks a lot more tribal in this.
Yeah, I got that feel too, sure.
So I'm wondering, where on the timeline this exists. Is this the modern world, or rather, the world of Diablo 3, or is this some kind of prequel? I mean, because everybody seems to be wearing some what animal skins? There we go. Everybody seems to be wearing leather and animal skins in the conceptual art. So I'm just kind of curious as to when this is supposed to be, or is this the world after the events of upcoming Diablo 3 apocalypse that we don't know about yet?
Right. Yeah. We didn't get a whole lot of information. Do we have a release date, or at least a general when this one's going to come out?
No, they said about this specifically that this is going to be not anytime soon, according to Blizzard time. So that also kind of leads me into believing that this was a reaction to last year's fiasco. Because I'm sure they have enough assets and skill to produce this. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of been the general consensus over a lot of the BlizzCon announcements with Overwatch 2 and with this, trying to distract from the shit show that was last year's BlizzCon and the issue with the Hearthstone player that was reprimanded for supporting Hong Kong. There were a lot of people felt like some of the announcements and things that they pushed that they have absolutely no clue when might get out was kind of a way to go, hey, look at this and don't focus on these other things anymore.
Yeah, they may have they may have actually like naturally waited another year before announcing Diablo 4. You know, they were going to ride
Sure,
the
yeah.
coattails on Diablo Mobile, and then a year from now, next year, actually release more information, or maybe the same thing on Overwatch 2, because it really doesn't seem like they have. I mean, they produce a cinematic, but then again, their film team is probably, they could probably whip out a cinematic in a week if they really tried. I mean, I don't know. So maybe they've just been, maybe this is all, it's all Blizzard propaganda. It's all fake news.
I don't know about the Diablo cinematic, but I know that they had mentioned that there's an outside team that they hire to do the Overwatch cinematic. So, yeah, I mean, and I guess it was Warcraft is really the only thing. Well, Warcraft and Hearthstone, the only things that they gave us kind of goals to look forward to sometime in the near future.
Well, what were the? I'm not familiar with Warcraft's. I didn't pay attention to that at all.
Oh, Warcraft, they announced the next expansion, and they've on one hand, see, Blizzard owns my soul, and I'll just admit it. Like, I play every Blizzard game I can get my hands on, and even the things I hate about them, I love them, and so there are things that are pretty ridiculous about this new expansion for Warcraft. But on the other hand, I'm excited, and I'm absolutely going to play it. They broke the world, and we're going into basically the afterlife.
What?
Yeah, we're going to, they call it the Shadowlands. There's going to be these 4 different factions that you can be a part of and gain faction-specific armors and perks and things. And they have very different aesthetics to each one. There's a woodland fairy-looking one. There's this vampire gothic-looking one. There's angels and there's like this undead scourge faction, and each of them have different areas you can quest in and things you can do. And but you said you weren't familiar with Warcraft. Sylvanas, who's leader of the undead, broke the Lich King's helmet, ripped it open, and destroying that magic item broke open the sky and opened up a portal to the afterlife.
Oh, that was stupid of him.
Right? Like, I don't see where that was a good idea, but okay. So on one hand, it's like, really, they're out of ideas. We're going to heaven now.
I mean,
but
I guess that's the natural place to go when your game is 20 years old and probably going to die soon. I mean, well, actually, I don't think it's going to die soon at all.
But yeah, there are aspects of it I'm really looking forward to, and they're finally giving players some of the stuff we've been asking for years. Like, there's going to be over 40 new customizations for each race coming to the character creation. They're actually putting in different ethnicities for the humans. So not everybody is going to be, just a white guy.
Well, that's, it seems like I did read something about it where they said that there were going to be a lot of quality of life updates that they were focusing on that, like you said, that people have been asking for a while. So I guess good on them for listening finally after how many years?
That's kind of been the consensus.
When did it come out?
What was it? 2002?
Yeah, like I want to say, like I think I was still in high school when it came out.
I think it was 2004.
I think maybe it was 2004.
right around there.
Yeah, because I was still in high school. I had played EverQuest, and EverQuest 2 was kind of lacking for me, so I never got into it. I think I made it to level 12 and canceled my account. And then WoW came out, and then I never played it because it reminded me of Infos too much.
Sure, yeah. Again, well, the 15th anniversary was this past week, or is actually going on right now. So it's been 15 years for. So yeah, that's been kind of general consensus is, yay, we're all excited for these things you've been asking for 15 years, but also it's been 15 years. Why couldn't we have done this before?
Again, like Blizzard time is very, very strange.
Yeah, it's funny the things that they decide to work on or announce and then never actually work on. Like there was supposed to be a dance studio that everybody was really excited about, so you could teach your characters different dances. And they announced that at the BlizzCon and then never touched it again.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. It's weird.
I just want to know how much dedicated WAM that you have to run a server. Oh wait, that was Minecraft. Sorry, my bad. How much dedicated WAM?
Oh.
That kid's a legend, man. God.
We did that for a while, ran a Minecraft server.
Oh, so did you hear more good news?
Which is that?
Hold on. If I was prepared, there we go. Okay, boom, right here. Dan Aykroyd confirms original Ghostbusters cast. I believe somebody just broke out that they wrapped on the original cast their parts of the film. So they've wrapped on their scenes. So they're there. It's done.
All right.
So Bill Murray finally agreed to it.
Well, it wouldn't have been the original Ghostbusters without Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So
Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Potts. We've shot our part. So they've done their cameo, legacy, passing of the torch, whatever you want to call it. So now Ernie Hudson was also confirmed for it, I believe, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why he doesn't say Ernie, unless he has a bigger part in the film, which I'm totally okay with.
Sure, yeah.
Because I don't know, he might be he might be my favorite character.
I think he's the most underrated character for sure.
Well, and again, I've heard him talk about his coming to terms with it. Like when he was cast in the role, he was promised he was going to have he was going to be like a professor, like he was going to have all this great renown with his character, and it was a big deal for him because he was a black man in film, and he was going to have an educated character, and that was real important to him. And he was kind of it's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say crestfallen, but he was kind of disappointed when they told him like, oh no, he's going to be an everyman. Zedmore's not going to be. He's going to be kind of like your everyman type of guy, and he was a little bit upset about that. But then years later, as he was meeting fans and talking to people about it, going to conventions, and people were coming up to him and were like, man, Winston, Zedmore's my favorite. I can relate to him. He's just kind of your everyman, and some of his dialogue in the film I always loved, and I guess as I've gotten older, I've kind of fallen into that too, where I really relate to to Ernie Hudson more than the other Ghostbusters, because they're like, in his intro scene where they're doing the interview, and they're like, do you believe in ghosts, whatever, and he goes, well, I'll believe whatever you want me to believe for a paycheck, like.
Right? Yeah.
I'm like, that's so damn relatable. I just anyway, I always thought that was great. I'm so excited for this. My biggest thing is
I never did see the remake.
Oh, with
the all-female version. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any problem with it. I just never got around to watching it.
I still say they can redeem it. I still say that they can. They make this film. Okay, they do some world building with this, get a new cast going on. Okay, and they can go ahead. They set the series up with the second one, with the ability to like have a multiverse basically.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they can't come across something that would, let's say, like, you know, they come across some, you know, ghost conspiracy, or, you know, somebody's trying to do something shitty, and they merge worlds, and it just so happens to be the world of the I don't know who the director was of that, I forget. Anyway, but it would merge the Reitman, you know, original trilogy with the new films, you know, and that way they could bridge it together, and they could have like a really, really cool merging, and it wouldn't be a difficult story to put together, you know, and you could do justice, because what they did, they didn't make a terrible movie. If you remove the director being a jerk and saying kind of some of the controversial things that he said, and really a lot of the issues I have with the film occurred outside of the film. It had nothing to do with the movie. I absolutely love, oh God, what's her name? The frickin' the blonde chick from Saturday Night Live.
Is that Kristen Wiig?
No, but she's funny too. The other one.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to type as fast as I can. I'm just having such a Kate McKinnon. I absolutely love Kate McKinnon.
Oh yeah.
I think she's one of the funniest damn people around. Her skits on SNL are, I mean, she's a frickin' riot, and this movie was no exception. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say that she, you know, carried the film, but she was a highlight in the movie. And just like, you know, some of the antics that she was up to, like every time he turned around, she was building and upgrading and, you know, improving their equipment, and, you know, coming out with all this stuff. Just like, oh God, it's so great, you know, it's hilarious. But I would like to see that, you know. I just had this thing in my mind where that would be so great if her and Dan Aykroyd just like went off to solve a problem together, and then came back with like some insane solution to, you know, kill the ghost, but it would also maybe end the universe if something goes wrong, like, because they're both mad scientists.
Sure.
You know, Dan Aykroyd and Egon. I mean, they were both mad scientists. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
But that's what's so great about Ghostbusters.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm just excited. The whole endeavor has just got me. I can't wait to throw on. My brother-in-law and my fiance and I, we all slaved over making proton packs for Dragon Con last year. So
yes.
Any opportunity I have to throw on the jumpsuit is always fun.
That's awesome.
What else you got? You got any Kickstarter? Any comic book?
I've got a Kickstarter I want to talk about.
Any health updates? Do you have any old man complaints or anything like that? Because I sure have.
Old man complaints. Oh, this weather, it getting cold all of a sudden on me.
I went out today and it was maybe like 60 out. Oof. It's freezing.
Yeah. Okay, so Kickstarter.
Ooh.
I'm real big into role-playing games, and this Nordic Horror role-playing, this is just right up my alley. In dark forests beyond the mountains, by black lakes and hidden groves, at your doorstep, in the shadows something stirs, strange beings, twisted creatures lurking at the edge of vision, watching, waiting, unseen by most, but not by you. You see them for what they really are. Vaesen. And I'm just really stoked for this. Let's see, this is not an American... I don't see where this is. Stockholm, Sweden.
Ooh, okay.
So it comes from Sweden, and I haven't gotten to play many horror RPGs, but this looks really cool, and I really want to check this out. So
I like the artwork.
definitely gonna have to throw that out there.
See, this is interesting to me because anything. So, I had this grandiose plan, like people do, where I was going to write my own urban fiction series. Okay, and I went and I bought all these books on different symbols, different folklore, like different cryptids, any oral traditions. I bought a stack of books about all this cryptozoology and what's the word I'm looking for? Not folklore, but I guess folklore. Yeah. So I see this and I think, wow, that's absolutely fascinating because this isn't stuff that we see here. Like these stories are completely different tales from a completely different country where people grew up with totally different superstitions. There we go. And I absolutely love that. Oh wow. Well, for example, like the Witcher, I think touched in it a lot, and they got a lot.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Like about the Earl King and the Wild Hunt, like all these different legends. And they were actually pretty spot on, I think, about the Earl King, about the Goblin King, like about if and again it's like a anecdote about being a drunk young man running around, and if you drink too much then the Wild Hunt's gonna get you and turn you into one of his dogs. Yeah, he's gonna be crawling around on all fours, peeing everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this one, and I'll have to share the link and push this pretty hard because it was already funded. I think it said in minutes.
Ooh, hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, I love seeing that though.
Yeah, funded in 13 minutes. Dang.
I was talking to the Merce it was a week before about the last board game. Have you seen that, or the last table? And it's like a interactive board game screen that you can upload, any board game to. Use it as like a D&D table. Like you hook 4 of them together and you actually display your D&D world on it.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'll have to find the last D&D table. See if I can. Nah. I'll find it. I think I linked it in one of the other episodes. I think the only other bit of news I have, and this is kind of more, I'll be reporting on this occasionally, but they are releasing from the BrevardRenaissanceFair.com. They are starting to put out promotional information about the January 2020 Brevard Renaissance Fair. So, if you can fly down, drive down, walk down, and see it, you can be there and enjoy it January 11th, 12th, 18th, 20th, 25th, and 27th, and February 1st and 2nd. It's going for 4 weekends? Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Like, it's not a tiny little, 10 hut Renaissance Fair. It takes up there's a whole park that we have here, Wickham Park, and it pretty much takes up half the park. So it's
Do you guys do many run fairs yourself?
I think this is the only one that I go to anyway. I know there's one over in Tampa on the West Coast, but it's kind of become a family tradition now that the Merce, my brother-in-law, my fiance, and anybody else that wants to join in, we do the pub crawl one weekend because there's no way to do it two, because that's just way. So the pub crawl, you go to like five of the bars, and they serve you mead, and it's all within 45 minutes with drinking songs. So you're pounding down like 4 or 5 glasses of mead, and then you black out.
That's great.
So yeah, that's my goal this year, is to make it through it.
Man, that sounds like fun.
All right, so it's Diet Destiny time. All right, I'm gonna roll it. I had it ready. And 5. Oof.
5.
Safe. All right, what do you think? You got anything to wrap up with, or
No, I think I'm out.
All right. Well, again, this has been I think it's our second episode on we're producing for the Hangin web show. We really appreciate them. Go check out the other shows, the other content on the YouTube channel. And again, this has been Felton, not the Merce. There we go.
And the bald bearded bard.
We got Sextuple B here.